Alright, sire. I'm sorry about your peasants, but I'm on an important, quest. The grief on his face instantly vanishes. What replaces it looks like curiosity. Oh, well, that changes everything. Fucking hell. This guy. Perilous quests and civilian casualties go together like chocolate and peanut butter. I can't stay mad at you for that. Oh no, this guy has lost it. What has he been eating? He's not okay. Hey gamers. I don't actually remember what I'm doing. But I'm gonna level up. What can I get? I guess upgrading my gunshots would be good. That's 5 points. I have 8. Uh... Um... I don't need to upgrade in. I could upgrade that. I could get drone control. I think I'm gonna just upgrade my guns right now. And then... I get anything else? I could get a drone. About it. Well, it's fine. And then our team has a level available. Adds +1 movement. When triggered, the user will dodge the first attacks against them each round for 3 turns. Or a special gun. I mean, this seems pretty good? But also better gun? I'll think about it. Electro core now costs 1 AP, or AoE is increased by 1 tile. Adrenal injection. Glory can use her adrenal pump on a downed ally to revive them at 25% HP. Or adrenal pump lasts an additional round. I mean, this seems good, but maybe having it last longer is better. Hydraulic Jack, increasing his move speed by 4 is a 0 AP action for 1 round. Yeah, it's a better cyber deck. Get better legs to my dude. Ugh. Do I want Eiger to get a better gun or to go faster? I'm gonna get this gun and regret it. Alright. Oh, how's Samuel doing? I'd like to talk about your organization. Are you still accepting donations? Yes. Thanks to your kind assistance, the shelter is now fully stocked with blankets and space heaters, and we have enough rice, salt, and barley to last through the winter. But guaranteeing the physical well-being of the Cruise Bazaar's needy is only a part of the equation. We must see to their mental well-being as well. Our next goal is to fully stock the library. With 350 yen, we could make the purchase. Whatever you could spare would be most appreciative. I mean, that's nothing to me right now, right? Yeah, totally. Here, just take what you need. I've got you covered. Not a big deal, Sam. Do good with it. Marvelous. Truly marvelous. With this contribution, we have reached our second goal. We'll put this money to use stocking the library with a full range of literature, philosophy, poetry, and training manuals. Thank you again for your help, Nephrite. Help. You've made a tremendous difference to this community. Happy to help, Sam. The Cruise Bazaar needs more people like you, my friend. Our new library is a marvelous, Nephrite. You've worked miracles for this organization. Our next goal is to purchase a set of Trode nets for our new work training program. I have high hopes for this plan, Nephrite. With these devices, we could teach job skills to the least educated members of our society in a fraction of the time it would take them to learn on their own. 400 yen, we can make the purchase? Easy. I can scarcely believe it. With this domination, we have met our penultimate goal. I'll send a volunteer to the data haven to acquire the Trode nets. In the meantime, I'll make the happy announcement to our guests. Thank you again, Nephrite. You will never know how important you've been to the people I serve. It was a pleasure. Anything to help. You are a true friend of the Cruise Bazaar. The work program has been a rousing success. Wow, so quickly! At this point, we only have one more goal in mind to round out the year. I've been in negotiations with Herr Burakgazi to lease another building in the Cruise Bazaar. The construction is much more modern and sturdy than our old shelter. Our people would be much better protected there. In addition, the extra floor space would open up a host of new options for our organization. One other thing, Nephrite. If we reach this goal, I would like to name the building after you. You are, after all, our primary benefactor. With 500 yen, we could make the purchase. Whatever you could spare would be most appreciated. Yeah, of course. I don't know what to say, Nephrite. With this donation, we've reached our final goal. I'll speak to Burakgazi immediately and provide him his down payment. The Nephrite Civic Center will stand as a monument to your generosity and care. Thank you once again. You've been a godsend to the poor of the Cruise Bazaar, and I will see to it that they know it. The Nephrite Civic Center has a nice ring to it. I would not want a building named after me. I'm happy you're pleased. You've more than earned it. Can I give you more money? Thank you, my friend, but no. We've grown as much as I'm comfortable with for 1 year, and you've done quite enough already. Know that you have positively impacted the lives of a great many Cruise Bazaar residents, Nephrite. Be proud of that fact. How's Alexander doing? He's adjusting with difficulty. Samuel shakes his head. Your friend Dietrich took a chance in sending his nephew to us. I will do my best to justify his faith in me. Thank you. Glad I could help. Let's talk to the gang. Is anyone here? Oh, they're all in here. Did we get all of the money we needed? Oh, we have 200 messages. One last DVD. The screen flickers to life and Malit's face appears. She wears a plastic smile. Hi again, Nephrite. Well, I've recovered one last DVD for you, but I'm afraid that's all you're gonna get. You might as well use the rest as coasters. They're all beyond repair. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you'll find the disc I salvaged. She pauses. A slight frown crosses her face. To be completely honest, that was a lie. To recover this last disc, I was forced to subcontract. Schradi is still a brute of a man. I'm unimpressed with his manner, and his poor hygiene disgusts me. But he is very good with old things such as this. All credit when it's due. The messages ends, and the image fades. You find yourself back at your inbox. We need to talk. Escabel, Dr. Xavier, to Nephrite. Come see me at your earliest convenience. There's a matter we need to discuss. Okay. Nora said that one was really good, so that's good. Don't have anything to sell. What's happening over here? As you step forward, the rest of your team falls silent. Ansel shifts his attention to you. You can see the worry on his face. Nephrite, I have new information. I'm afraid that the news isn't good. So you said over the comm. Go on, we're listening. 2 years ago, a large shipment of a highly lethal radioactive bioweapon disappeared en route to a storage facility in Dresden. The weapon was designated X-15. I've traced the path of the missing shipment. It was delivered to the Harfield Manor. Well, that sounds horrible. It is. I've heard of this stuff before. Back in the service, we called it Doom. I've never run across it in the wild, but I've heard enough horror stories to know that I don't want to. The stories that you've heard are correct. This Doom is an incredibly dangerous substance. He gestures to a technical document on his computer's display. I've been reading up. To this day, the story of Doom remains a cautionary tale in the biotech circles. Monoclonal antibody technology is strictly regulated now, and this substance is one of the reasons why. Does that do what I think it does? What does this stuff do exactly? Ansel clears his throat and reads aloud from the information on the screen. Doom kills by destroying a host's muscle tissue via radioactive decay. Each individual Doom antibody is bound to a radioactive bismuth-212 isotope. When introduced to a host, these antibodies bind to surface-level muscle tissue. The tissue is then killed with alpha radiation. This process repeats itself until the host wastes away and dies. Wow, I hate it. That's terrible. Jesus. Eiger nods grimly. I've heard that Doom was deployed in a couple of border skirmishes back in 41. After seeing what it did to people up close, the UCAS passed a unilateral ban on the stuff. If that doesn't tell you how bad it is, nothing will. Okay, so I hesitate to ask, but what would a dragon want with this Drac? Nothing good. That much goes without saying. This development worries me, Nephrite. It worries me greatly. Okay, so the dragon has a bioweapon. Alright, good to know, but that doesn't change what we need to do. I'm looking at the big picture here, and I don't like what I see. There's a moment of silence, then Dietrich speaks up. Well, in my book, this doesn't change anything. I mean, it ups the stakes if Firewing's allowed to be carrying out her plans, whatever those may be. But we're gonna stop her before that happens. That was always the plan. As far as I'm concerned, it's still the plan now. I agree with Dietrich. We need to focus on what's in front of us. Whatever the dragon's larger plans might be, the fact is she's after us. We shouldn't let ourselves get distracted by anything else. Ansel is slow to respond. Finally, he nods. Yes, I concur. For the time being, we must continue forward. And that means you must continue working towards raising Alice's fee. I'll leave the matter in your capable hands, Nephrite. When you acquire the necessary funds and are ready to head back out to the rabbit hole, let me know. From there, we'll discuss our next steps. Eiger nods. Good. If you need me, I'll be getting prepped for the next run. Right behind you, love. Dietrich casts a backwards glance at Glory. If any of this has an impact on her, she doesn't show it. Come on, Glory, let's go. Watching them try and go around scenery is pretty funny. Dietrich raises a bottle at your approach. Hey again, boss. You need something? I was thinking about what you told me earlier. You said your idol was going to make you pick a fight you couldn't win. He shrugs. It's bound to happen eventually. Probably sooner rather than later. Isn't there something you can do to stop that from happening? Well, I suppose I could refuse, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Especially not now. Remember, boss, Dragon Slayer is where my magic comes from. If I turn away from him, you'll better believe he'll turn away from me. Besides which, I don't know if I can refuse him anymore. He's been with me for so long, I don't know where he stops and I begin. He grins at you. Don't worry about me, boss. I've known that this was coming my entire life. And when that happens, I'll go down in a blaze of glory the likes of which you can't even imagine. That's a promise. What if you were to pick a fight with a different kind of dragon? Say, maybe a gang or a corporation? He pauses for a moment. That's an interesting idea. If it was big enough and heinous enough, you might be satisfied. I've never tried to bargain or negotiate with the Dragon Slayer before. I'm not sure how I feel about it, and I don't know how I'd take it either. The Dragon Slayer doesn't like to be questioned, and his temper is even shorter than mine. But I'll tell you what, boss. I'll think about it. Can't... I'm not gonna say. Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. It's gonna take some time. Any thoughts on that last run you'd like to share? Hell of a thing, wasn't it? I mean, that run made me glad I don't have to spend a lot of time in hospitals, I'll tell you that much. There wasn't a single aspect of that building that didn't make me feel uneasy. He pauses for a moment, then looks you in the eye. Kind of a pity putting that rigger on ice like that. Least we could have done is hurt him out. I get that the job is a job and all, but if our client really did screw him over, he deserved better than to get buried for it. He shrugs. I guess we'll never know. Nothing right now, Dietrich. How are we doing over here? I'm a little busy right now, Chief. Gotta get things ready for the big bank job after all. Thanks again for helping out with that, by the way. You're a lifesaver. No problem, Blitz. Okay. Oh, my nose got so stuffy. Hello, Eiger. Eiger glances up from her PDA at the sound of your approach. Nephrite, this isn't the best of times. Her body language is self-assured, but you can hear the anxiety in her voice. Something has her worried and in a big way. Talk to me, Eiger. If something's put you on edge, I want to know what it is. There's a long pause. Finally, she turns her PDA so you can look at the screen. This. The image that greets you is a holopic of a rail-thin orc with jet-black hair. Who am I looking at? His name is Yuli Kozlov, but he's better known by his handle, the Engineer. He's a mercenary, ex-Spetsnaz, one of the best in his field. I ran up against him in my KSK days. Tell me more. His specialties are social engineering and wet work. In practice, he spends most of his time in paving the way for organized crime syndicates to seize new territory. He sets up bribes, takes out key members of the opposition, and forges alliances with existing street gangs. All of the groundwork that a syndicate needs. He's extremely bad news, Nephrite, and my contact spotted him in Shadowrun. That's a little too close to the Cruise Bazaar for comfort. Exactly. I've seen what the Engineer can do up close. My KSK unit tracked him a few years ago. I had him in the sights of my rifle, but I was ordered to hold fire. We couldn't afford to give away our position. To this day, I regret obeying that order. I saw what happened to the town that he was softening up after the syndicate moved in. Nephrite, I have to stop him before it's too late. What happened to that town? It can't be allowed to happen again in Shadowrun. Agreed. Do you know who he's working for now? The safest bet would be a Russian syndicate, but there's no telling. His client list is longer than you'd expect. Got any examples? Well, I know for a fact he's worked for mafia groups operating inside and outside of Russia, and he put in a lot of time with the Lobachevsky syndicate. He's taken contracts with the Triads as well. My contacts tell me he's even done a few jobs for Town and Mouse. Yeah. That's a hell of a resume. Yeah, it is. She bites her lip and stares at the image on the PDA for a long moment. So, long story short, I'm going to have to step out for a mission or two. I know how important it is that we resolve the Flare Shinji's situation. I get it, but I can't just sit back and let this happen. She shakes her head. I won't. If the cruise bazaar is at risk, this is too important a job to rest on the shoulders of one person. I'm going with you. End of story. Alright, fearless leader. You're right, I could use the help. But the others, they can't know about this. This is going to have to be a quiet job, 2 people max. You sure you're prepared for this? If you can't hold up your end, I'll be better off on my own. Don't worry about me. I'm solid. Yeah, I know you are. Grab your things and meet me at Der Weinkeller. I've got a contact who's gonna join us there and he can help us figure out our next step. Any thoughts on the last run? She shrugs. It was a nice change of pace. A simple job with a straightforward objective. At the end of the day, the whole thing was pretty by the numbers. The rigger died, we got paid, and everyone went home happy. That's a win in my book. Glory favors you with a weak smile, her expression cautious. You're suddenly aware of how very small she is. Why, Nephrite? I gotta admit, I've been dreading this. So, now that you know what I've done, what I am, are you here to tell me off? I wouldn't blame you if I were. No, Glory, I'm not here to tell you off. Truth be told, I wanted to check in and see how you were doing. Not great. Struggling. About how you'd expect. We left off in a bad place last time. I've been thinking about your story and I have a question for you. Yeah, what's that? Are you still looking for closure? Because your story has a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up. Or you got out of Flare still, but Harrow's cult is still up and running, right? Still full of kids who are being brainwashed and worse? So, shouldn't we do something about that? She holds her silence for a long time. Finally, she nods. Yes. I've been thinking about this for a long time, Nephrite, and every time that I've gotten close to making a decision, I've turned and run away again. No more running. I'm ready to face this thing, but I can't do it alone. I'm going to need your help. That's the idea. Alright, if we're going to do this, we need to be clear on what our goal is. There are a lot of innocent people in that place. Lost street kids who got sucked in by Marta and the other girls like her. Saving them won't be easy, but it feels like the right thing to do. But then there's also Harrow to consider. I want that man dead. Lord knows he deserves it, and if we don't make killing him our top priority, he might get away from us. If that happens, if he runs, he'll eventually start up another cult somewhere else where we can't find him, and all of this will have been for nothing. We're likely to run into other complications as well, so I think we need to make a decision here up front. What would you do in my place? Rescue the kids or take down Harrow? I don't think we can manage both. Ugh. We wipe out the cult, starting with Harrow. As long as he's alive, he can just start all of this over again. We'll save any cultists we can, but the ones that are too far gone will have to be put down. Harrow needs to die. I don't want any other kids hurt or killed, but Harrow, that bastard has to pay for what he did to me. She stops, as if suddenly unsure of herself. A moment later, a newfound confidence seems to seize her. She looks to you and there's fire in her eyes. He has to pay for what he did to all of us. I won't let this happen again. He needs to die. You're damned right he does. Meet me at the van when you're ready to go. It's a long drive from here to the Schönbucht. She nods. I'll see you there. I think I'm gonna do Eiger's mission first. Nephrite, greetings. I don't need it. Okay, so let's go look at some guns. Oh, this is the wrong way. Hello, sir. I would like to purvey your wares. Okay. Well, I want a pistol. What do I have? Okay. I have a 10 damage, medium range, 15 capacity pistol. 12 medium 10. Okay, this is what I have. It doesn't look like I can... Okay, it looks like I need range combat 6 for a real upgrade. Can I buy new armor though? +1 close combat up. +1 range combat, +5 HP. Ooh, that's nice. 1 quickness and 5 HP. 1 dodge and 1 move speed. Ooh, that seems pretty good. What do I have? Not wearing armor? Get some armor. Maybe I want the... Wait. Or maybe I get the long coat. I'll get this. Ooh, looking good. Oh, we should talk to the doctor too. Welcome back. What can I do for you, my friend? I got your message. What do you want to discuss? Business. I have a job for you. I'm always interested in hearing about new business opportunities. Good. So let's get back down to brass tacks, shall we? Back before I emigrated here from my native Spain, I worked in partnership with a Berlin-based R&D lab. The biotech they were developing was very hush-hush, very cutting edge. Our arrangement was that I would bankroll their research, and they would in turn provide me with unique merchandise to sell in my clinics. Clinics? You had more than one? Certainly. I must confess that before I moved to Berlin, I was something of a celebrity doctor. I had a chain of triage clinics that stretched from Bilbao to Madrid. I was a very wealthy man. But then my name was slandered, and fickle mistress that is public perception turned against me. An ugly business, I assure you. Even talking about my fall from grace makes my stomach turn. The injustice of it all is too much, almost too much to bear. What did they do? He sighs. What didn't they? Theft, medical malpractice, the sale of stolen goods, other more colorful accusations that do not bear repeating. But that was then, and this is now. I came here to Berlin to escape all of that. Of course, I also moved here to be closer to the lab that I'd funded and the merchandise that I am owed. So let me guess. You want me to go fetch your merchandise? Yes, and to find out what happened to the lab itself. The facility's locked down, you see, nearly impenetrable, and I have no idea why. As I was packing to move to Berlin, all was well. 16 hours later, I arrived to discover the building locked tight, with my merchandise inside. The Turk Al-Tug has been running surveillance on the site since I set up shop here. In that time, nobody has entered and no one has left. Whatever went wrong in there must have killed the research team. I want you to find a way into the building, recover the cybertech they were developing, and find out what happened to the researcher. In that order. If your merchandise has been sitting in this building for 2 years, why didn't you approach Monica about this? Who says I didn't? I had a, let us say, tumultuous friendship with your dear departed Monica. We had our ups and downs, you see, and on this subject, she was most certainly down. That was her choice. I'm hoping you'll be savvy enough not to make the same mistake. If the building's been abandoned, I'm surprised that the lot it's sitting on hasn't been gobbled up by some corp or another. Don't be. Back when I was a wealthy man, before my legal troubles, I paid the lease for a decade in advance. And before you say anything, yeah, it was a huge expense, but what's locked away inside of that lab is worth 10 times what I've spent on it. I don't want anyone laying claim to it but me. Alright, let's talk compensation. What's in this for me? I can offer you 2,000 yen, plus first crack at whatever biotech you recover from the site. I will, of course, have to charge you for anything that you want to have installed, but I can provide it to you at a discount. This is top-of-the-line cyberware that we're talking about, mind you, and better than anything else I've got in stock. And because it's biotech, the essence lost from implanting it will be minimal. It's a good deal. Win-win for you, really. So what's it gonna be? Will you take the job or not? Fine, I'm in. Excellent. The facility you're looking for is the former laboratory of Sutherland Bioscience. Take the U-Bahn to the Audenaire Platz, and you're sure to find it. Best of luck. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna go help Eiger. Eiger first. Then the doctor. And then we'll see how much time I have.
Big stretch.
Okay, I have to take a different way for Eiger's mission. That's fine. I'm going to talk to Millie, actually. We got better programs yet? No. Okay. I've never used these, actually. Maybe I should get one. I can't get the cyber deck, and I don't think I can equip it anyway. I can't do drones. Oh, this is armor for me. +1 intelligence, +1 decking. Oh, that's good. Or +1 intelligence, +1 move speed, and +1 biotech. That's probably the best. I'm gonna equip that. Oh, it looks cute. Actually, it looks bad. Actually, it looks terrible. But I'm still gonna put it on. What are my stats right now? 5 quickness, 7 int, 5 biotech, 5 charisma. Huh. Okay. Well. Alright, let's go help out Eiger. Oh, wait, no, this is Glory's mission. With Eiger's contact. Okay. Where's your contact again? Not you, is it? Oh, here's Eiger. This dwarf has a distinctly Eurasian appearance. He peers up at Eiger through almond-shaped eyes. The rest of his broad face is dominated by strong Slavic features. He nods to himself and puts down his mug of soy coffee. On the edge of the table, a plate of day-old pie cools in a haze of cigarette smoke. You should eat that, buddy. Boy, Eiger, it's been a long time. He taps a thumb on the rim of his coffee cup. Keeping busy? You could say that. Nephrite, this is Bannock. He's a friend. The dwarf scoffs. Don't know if I'd go that far. Nothing personal, you understand? If I were to start keeping friends, I might call you one. But in my experience, friendship and obligation go hand in hand. A solitary life is cleaner. He smiles. Professional acquaintance, then. The dwarf nods. Better. Now, let's get down to business, shall we? We need intel on the engineer, where he's been staying, who he's been working for, how long he's been in Shadowrun. Whatever you've got, we want it. He spears a hunk of pie with his fork, crams it into his mouth, and starts to chew. A moment later, he shrugs. I've had worse, and of course I can give you what I can, but I don't know much. I can point you in the right direction, that's all. Just tell us what you can. We'll handle the heavy lifting. Handle the heavy lifting. Heavy lifty. The dwarf nods, then fumbles in his jacket pocket for something. A moment later, he produces a weathered paper map and spreads it on the table. Alright, what you're looking at is the northwest quadrant of Shadowrun. This is gang territory. All of it. These days, the whole Kiaz is being held by Rambach. I've had a run-in with Rambach before. We can handle them. Wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you. The guy that filled the power vacuum when their last leader bit it is a real piece of work. But hey, maybe you're right. I hope so for your sake. He stabs a meaty finger down on the faded silhouette of the building. This warehouse right here is Rambach HQ, and that's where the engineer is staying. Wonderful. Eiger exhales heavily. If he's staying there, he must be arranging some sort of deal with them. That'd be the safe bet. And they haven't pulled their guns on him yet, so it's fair to assume that negotiations are going well. I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, but the last thing we need is an alliance between some foreign syndicate and Rambach. No good could come of that. Can't argue with that. Now, I can't tell you who the engineer is working for. You'll have to ask him about that yourself. But what I can do is make it easier for you to have a sit down with him. Bannock reaches under the table and brings up a canvas bag. He places it in front of you and pushes it forward. Don't open that in here. There are people in this room who would kill you for what's in that bag. You gonna tell us what it is, or do we have to guess? He lowers his voice to a soft whisper. You have to lean in to hear him clearly. What you're gonna find in there is a gadget about the size of a water pistol. It has a rubberized grip and a hair trigger, and it's good for one shot. A stun gun? No. He pauses for a moment, playing with his fork. Well, not really. For your purposes, you might as well think of it as one, though. The object in question is a cyberware deactivator. Oh, that's ugly! At a great personal expense from a super max prison in the UCAS. He traces a twirl in the air with a fork. The warden owed me a favor. Eiger whistles appreciatively. Very nice, Bannock. That should make this easy. Not easy. Possible. I'd be giving it to you if the job could be done without it. The engineer is rocking a Delta-grade move-by-wire system. Unless you can shut it down, there's no way in hell you're going to catch him. And if we do shut it down, he'll be forced into a state of permanent seizure. He shrugs. Only until he gets the thing up and running again. Deactivated isn't the same thing as broken. The dwarf shovels another heaping forkful of pie into his mouth, then chews thoughtfully. Until then, his life will be a living hell, but I can think of worse things to use as a bargaining chip. Remember, you need to know who he works for. The more you can take him out of his comfort zone, the better. Sounds like we have a plan. Eiger nods. Sounds that way. Thanks, Bannock. We'll let you know how things work out. Don't bother. I'll be watching. Alright, Eiger. Let's get out of here. Oh, okay, I have it. Okay, cool. Eiger. Sure, I would... Would love more medkits, actually. Ugh. I'm gonna go check on my stash. Or a trauma kit or anything. That'd be great, really. I'm probably not using these grenades. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Okay. I want you. I want you. I want you. And I guess I'll take you. There? Okay. A little better. Not amazing, but better. Gotta be real careful. The engineer. Shadden Nest. The Kia's next door to the Cruise Bazaar and an object lesson in anarchy gone wrong. Violent gangs rule the streets here, trading territory to the roar of gunfire. The streets are a war zone. As dangerous as Shadden Nest already is, it could be worse. The gangs are vicious but disorganized. They pose little risk to their neighbors, with little more than a makeshift barricade and a few volunteers. The Cruise Bazaar successfully insulated itself from the chaos of its neighboring Kias. The engineer could change all of that. He has to be stopped, and the F state as a whole needs to be alerted to what his clients are trying to do. It's up to you and Eiger to make sure that happens. So here we go. Yep, I'm good. Eiger, could you take... I don't have other healing stuff, though. Ugh. Maybe I should have bought some. I'll bring another grenade. Why not? As you near the edge of the Cruise Bazaar, the familiar piss and asphalt stench of the Shadden Nest crawls into your nostrils and sticks in the back of your throat. The dilapidated husks of built-up buildings loom above you, giving the place an air of menace. Hoping I'd put this place behind me after the Humanist run. Yeah, I'm with you there. She wrinkles her nose. The funny thing is, a syndicate presence might actually help Shadden Nest. In the short term, at least. They'd clean up the streets, if nothing else. Don't tell me you're changing your mind. Not for a second. A syndicate? Any syndicate in Shadden Nest would be a disaster for the Cruise Bazaar. Let the people on the other side of the gate deal with their own problems. I won't allow my home to be endangered for their sake. Hello, boys. You again? Well, you ignored my warning last time and you ain't dead, so I guess you can handle yourself. He sighs. Let him through, Sergey. We sure did. Alright, where are we going? Cardboard box. The cardboard box is filled with makeshift bedding. A homeless person must be using it to keep warm at night. I'm not gonna search it. That's terrible. That's a terrible video game thing to do. If that's a ploy to keep people out of finding important shit, then it's working. But I'm not dealing with it. Whoa. Rambok gang up ahead. Maybe there's a way around? Okay, so that's all fight. Oh, that's a one big fight, huh? More gang members. Can I sneak this way? Not exactly sure where I'm going. Okay, the answer is not this way. I could talk to people over here. So maybe it's safe? Ish? I got pots and pans. You need pots and pans? No, but some info would be nice. You see any new friends of the Rambach show up lately? Yeah, sure I have. What's it to you? The woman eyes you up and down, clearly waiting for you to make an offer. Just trying to help out the neighborhood. She leans in for a whisper. They're just down the street, in the warehouse with the grass in front. New guy showed up a few days ago. Seems like a bigwig. They've been moving product through there ever since. What sort of product? That cost you extra, sweetie. Is it important? Sure. Drugs, guns, usual. Seems like more drugs than guns lately, so maybe things will pick up around here. No problem, honey. I got the best deal in pots and pans this side of Spandau. Okay. What about you? What? What do you want? I'm new in town. What's hot around here? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. All there is to do in Shadowrun is to get your ass beat by gangs until you decide to join one. Which gang are you in? I'm still in the former camp. I've heard what the Rambach do to haze new members. I'll take getting pushed around every once in a while over that. I'm just looking for some information. I bet you are. I've seen your type before. You're probably looking for someone or looking for something that's been stolen. Either way, the Rambach won't be happy about you sticking your nose into Shadowrun. Fine. Okay, these are just people. Brass, huh? Motorcycle. The engine's still warm. Colors on the tail clearly mark it as Rambach property. That's going okay. I haven't gotten shot at yet. I forgot what she said. And she won't tell me. Great. Cool. Cool and good. Dark over. Oh, is this the grass? Okay. The warehouse door is a windowless slab of reinforced densoplast. Keypad entry system sits to one side. Got any ideas, Eiger? Looks secure. She examines the heavy door, scowling. I might be able to blast it open with a controlled explosive, but that'd spook anyone inside. Probably best if we could just find the code. I'll find the code. Boop! Bypass the code input mechanism. The door unlocks. Here we go. Now I'm getting shot at. In there. That's our man. This guy? Alright. Deadeye shot. 85%. Well, let me mark them first. Pow! Ow. Oh, even more reason to kill you. Use the cyberware deactivator on the engineer. Do they see us? Debatable. Shoot you. This should take you out. Wonderful. Oh, 30 damage. Uh-oh. Flash gang. Oh, shit. That's not good. Ah. Okay, I'm glad you attacked them. That's right, hit each other. Ow! Shit. Okay, good. Take out that guy. Ah, that was real bad. Kill myself. Get Eiger over here. Blast him. I'll go over here too. Ah! Oh boy. Ooh, is Eiger gonna be okay? I would like some crits. Ugh, I'm already out of med kits. This is bad. I'm gonna mark them. Good crit. Awesome. Let's get out of here. Ooh, not having Dietrich around really sucks. Hi. Ooh, ooh. Oh boy. Howdy. Oh yeah, this is piercing, isn't it? Break my armor. Ooh, 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 ooh. That was a lot of damage. Stun them. Good. great. That sucks. I might have to redo this mission. Do I have 1 HP? Oh my god. This is a nightmare. That sucks. This one's not going too well for me, is it? Can I at least take someone out? Oh, god. Oh, thank you. Ow. That didn't help me at all. This got rough very quickly. I'm gonna die here. Okay, we're restarting. Oh man, that was bad. Okay. Gotta do all that again. I guess. Alrighty. I'm glad I can avoid this fight. Jeez. If I had to fight them here too, oh, that would be terrible. Let's try that again. And try not to get hit as many times. Ow. Can you not? Can you not? Why is that not a higher shot? Oh boy. My luck is not very good. Ah. Fuck, this is going worse! Oh my god. Oh, okay, well the elemental... They lost control of the elemental, so that's something. I guess. Try and ignore it. Let them just fight it. No, nice try. Ooh, that was big. There we go. Let's ignore that guy. Or try to. Oh, please heal yourself. Buddy? Nice. Good crit. Also a good crit. Reload. So that's not an issue. Ow. That was so rude. Oh my god. Why? Why are these two people so terrible for me to fight? Please Placid. I have to use my medkit. I don't want to die. Aha! This sucks. This fight is kind of rough. Not gonna lie. My god, you have so much armor. Why, game? Why are you doing this to me? I'm missing literally every shot. Oh my fucking god. Okay, I need to put a save outside the building. Otherwise I'm not. Man. Can't aim for shit. Wish I had more. Oh. I mean, I guess I could give myself a grenade. I'll take a flashbang. Give Eiger a... No, I keep losing. This is just teaching me how much I rely on glory for everything. I'm also not... I am a little underprepared. I only have one, like, revive hit. But I don't want to go back to an older save and get more. Okay. I'm gonna try and stun you. Don't. 5 damage? Oh my god, I can't do anything. Oh god. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Still kinda hurt. Mark you. And take a shot. Oh, I have a shotgun. Forgot about my shotgun. Okay. That sucked. That was a bad turn. Oh yeah. Glad they missed the grenade. Okay, the elemental escape, that's good. That was... I could have done something else. Don't shoot me. Nice. Okay, that's not bad. Dietrich being able to heal people very easily is also very... No, oh fuck. That was a mistake. Oh, taking way too much damage. Okay, Yeah, that guy's dead. Thankfully. Get some cover, please. Hello. Please go. Yeah, Elemental's gone. I'm pretty sure. That's right, hit Eiger. There we go. Okay. Not the worst. Ooh, good damage. Nice. %, 62, you're 64%. We'll have to take out one of them. I also would like my armor. Honestly. 52%. Come on. Oh, you have like 1 HP left. Oh, man. 77%. Okay, 92%. Let's get in their face. Oh, they're not flanked? There, take some AP damage. Uses a sniper rifle in, like, terrible range. Mark you. There you go. Now you're out. There we go. That's damage. Good damage. There we go. Okay. Ooh, Eiger doesn't have a lot of health. Hello. Oh my god. Ah, I could have come in the back. Oh. Did I go in the hard way? Oh well. Ow. Jerk. Please shoot him in the back. Many times. Okay. Did he escape? Oh. I think he escaped. There he goes. New objective. Do not let him escape, and he must survive. Alright. 40% at the moment. Okay. Ah, I couldn't slow him down. Shit. Oh my god, he's so fast! Holy shit. Oh, hi. Okay, good, he's hiding. I'm gonna get my shit rocked, though. Ugh. Okay. Let's get in cover. Oh, I can't use grenades. Shit. Stop running! I know why he's running, but still. Ugh. %. Oh, I have to get closer. Ugh. Okay, good. Got him. Now I have to get out alive. Haha. Fun. I think Eiger has to use this, or I'm fucked. Ooh, 40 damage! Hell yeah. Ow. Okay, I have to use this. Oh, don't miss. Don't crit me either. Please take this guy out. Oh my god. I can deal with one person. There we go. Ugh. Help me drag this guy back to the warehouse. We're going to find out what he knows. Oh my god. Made it out by the skin of my teeth. The engineer lies splayed out on the ground, his body trembling violently. Eiger shoves a bottle up his nose and squeezes. The engineer shudders violently, then the trembling begins to subside. She glances at you. An aerosol BZD to help treat the seizures. Vanek was kind enough to include it in his goodie bag. It won't last long, but it should give Yuli here enough muscular control to answer a few questions. The engineer's voice that comes out in a trembling stutter. Fuck you, troll. Eiger raises an eyebrow. See? He's talking already. The engineer's eyes burn with hate. Beads of sweat dot his brow as he struggles to control the tremors that rack his body. He takes a deep breath, holds it, then releases it slowly. The trembling begins to subside. We've got questions for you. You'd better have answers. Slowly, the orc's eyes shift from Eiger to you. I know the troll, bitch. We have history. But you are a stranger to me. Are you sure that you have the stomach for this stranger? Not many do. I have the stomach for all sorts of things. I'll manage, but if you give us what we want, this will go a whole lot easier for you. I've got nothing for you, Shadowrunner. His voice sounds stronger now. The stutter that marred his speech is almost completely faded away. The sooner you learn that, the better off we'll all be. Oh, Yuli. She slaps him across the face, splitting his lip down the middle. The impact sounds like a gunshot. You're in no position to be making demands. Eiger leans in towards the engineer. He recoils, grinding the back of his head against the grease-stained Duraplast tiles. You're helpless. Her voice comes out in a snarl. But if you answer our questions, things will go easier for you. So tell us, whose payroll are you on? She grabs a fistful of the orc's hair and lifts his head. Her face is inches from his. Tell us who sent you to Shadowrun. There's a long pause. Eventually, the engineer looks up. Alright, you want to know so badly, I'll tell you. Kamino sent me here. They want to use Shadowrun as a base of operations in Berlin. My point of contact is a ghoul named Beetle. He leans forward and locks eyes with Eiger. There. You've got your intel. Now set me free or kill me. Yuli. Eiger leans back, shaking her head. You wouldn't roll over on an employer this easily. Your rep tells me that much. He raises an eyebrow in a look of mock astonishment. No. Eiger's right. You're jerking us around. You wanted a name, I gave you a name. Want more? I can give you those too. I can name 100 clients who'd love a piece of Shadowrun. How do you intend to determine who really sent me? You let us worry about that. Oh, I intend you to. He wrestles the corner of his mouth up into a smirk. I've got no worries. I already know what my future holds. Maybe you try to reason with me and that fails. Maybe you try coercion, that'll get you nowhere too. You try beating on me and I start giving names. More names than you know what to do with. Torture me or don't, it'll all end the same way. I'll be dead, you'll know nothing for certain, and my clients will move ahead on schedule. Help us out then. If you're already dead, who cares about being a snitch? He snorts. I won't give your she-troll the satisfaction. She wants it. That's why she won't get it. Eiger's hands bunch into fists. She's still smiling, but you can feel the heat of the hatred behind her eyes. If you don't start telling me what I want to hear in the next 30 seconds, this is going to get messy. I know that look, Yuli. I'd start talking if I were... The engineer cuts you off. A perverse smile is spread itself across his face. You know, Eiger. He takes his time pronouncing the name, savors it. I'd like to tell you a story. We share so much history, you and I. Eiger says nothing, but her eyes narrow. The engineer continues, his grin broadening. This is a funny story. It's about your time in the KSK. A story about futility. I can tell you about the many lives you've touched and how the syndicates touched them again afterward. Would you like that? There's a long pause. Eventually, Eiger turns to face you. Nephrite, do me a favor. Sweep the building for intel. Anything we might have missed on the way in. Okay, I'm on it. Take care of our friend here. She shoots a disgusted glance at your captive. Yeah, don't worry. I will. This door is open now. What do we got in here? Oh, a dead man. Who could this be? The broken body of a human man lies on the floor. His face is a mess of fresh cuts and congealing blood, and his head is oddly deformed. Despite his wounds, his mouth is twisted into a macabre smile. Judging by the shape of the ganger's head, you'd guess that his skull has been fractured in at least 3 places. The center of his forehead is particularly gruesome. It looks soft, as though the skin were stretched like a tent between shards of broken bone. Looking up, you can see a great smear of gore on the door to the room you found him in. The implications are clear. This man bashed his own head in trying to get out, and he did it with a smile on his face. His hands are badly broken too. You've seen these sorts of injuries after bare-knuckle fistfights, but never anything this severe. This man punched something hard and went on punching until his hands were reduced to useless slabs of meat. Ooh. Draw a medical conclusion. All of these symptoms point to one thing. Something drove this ganger into a homicidal fury, and that fury didn't die out until he did. You've heard of pharmaceuticals that can cause this sort of reaction. PCP, Datura, substituted cathinones. But without a lab test, there's no way to say for sure what drove him to this. Would he be scared of that? Chemical storage barrels. The light jostle shows they're completely empty. It looks melted. The cargo container is empty. What else do we got? There's a small ledger lying on this crate. The cover is cheap leatherette and the paper is tissue-thin newsprint. Leaf through the pages. The pages are filled to the overflowing with handwritten text. You don't recognize the language, but judging by the accent marks, you'd guess it's a Scandinavian tongue. While you can't read it, the arrangement of the text tells you that the ledger is primarily being used as an address book. Pocket the book and move on. This music's nice. Its forkless tires are flat. Looks like it hasn't been used in years. Nothing else? Looks like I found everything I could. Can I go back here? No. As you approach, you can see that the engineer's chest is sheeted with blood. Most of it seems to be streaming from his nose, which has been crushed into a wad of bloody meat. Eiger turns to face you. Her bunched fists are dripping red. Find anything? She speaks to you through clenched teeth. Her voice sounds strained and her cheeks are flushed. Having fun? I'm not doing this for fun. I'm doing it because he deserves it. If you knew half of what this bastard has done, if you've heard the things he just told me, you'd do the same. Fair enough, just don't get carried away. We need him. She pauses, then turns away. Just tell me what you found. Yes, please. The engineer's voice is thick and wet. He smiles through a set of gorge-streaked teeth. Enlighten us. Found this ledger. I found the body in the other room. From the looks of him, he tried to use his head to beat down a steel-reinforced door. Interesting, but not unusual in these parts. All kinds of drugs that can make a person act that way, and most of them are in hard to get a place like in Shadowrun. Hard to get in a place like Shadowrun. Found anything else? Found this ledger, but I don't recognize the language. It looks Scandinavian. Eiger leafs through the journal, quickly flipping the soy-calf-stained pages. Norwegian. Maybe? I'm thinking that this is written in Book mall. She frowns. I can't read it, but it looks like a shipping manifest. Yeah, something like that. There's a lot of addresses in here. She rifles through the pages, flipping the cheap paper with her thumbnail. Looks like addresses all the way through. Some are annotated, but I can't see any names. 2/3 of the way through the book, she stops short. Find something interesting? Wordlessly, she turns the journal around. At the top of the page, written in a different hand, is a single word. It's written in English, but you can understand it all the same. Wednesday. She nods. Yeah, not particularly helpful without a full date, but I guess it's something. Of course, Wednesday might not refer to a day of the week at all. Could be code for something. Taken out of context like this, it's impossible to say. So what do you make of this? This should be good. Eiger ignores him, but her gaze remains fixed on the book. Might be nothing, or it could mean he's back in bed with the Lobachevsky Syndicate. The engineer holds his silence. Is that it, Yuli? Are you taking orders from your old bosses again? He pauses a moment before croaking out an answer. Maybe. Who's to say? What's happening on Wednesday, Yuli? His mouth twists into a bloody grin. This Wednesday? I'll be putting your mother to work on the street corner, and when she's all worn out, I'll give your father a shot at the job. You can do better than that. Go die in a ditch. You find anything else? We need to be sure about this before moving forward. I'll keep looking. Really thought I'd everything. Oh, there's another drone. This generic courier drone has been snapped together out of prefab parts from a dozen different manufacturers. It's a cheap utilitarian thing, remarkable only in it's so incredibly plain. A half-bred teenager could cobble something like this together in an afternoon. The drone sits in a charging cradle, its turbofan unpowered. A cheerful green light blinks on its front panel to remind you it's still active. You can see the silhouette of something under the flimsy plastic dome of the drone's cargo compartment. Whatever this thing was here to deliver, it's still carrying it. Pop the lid. You depress the catch onto the container's plastic lid. Rather than swinging open, the lid slides back to reveal a touchpad. Looks as though this thing is password locked. Examine the drone more closely. Taking a closer look, you notice something strange. There's a set of electrical contact plates lining the lip of the drone's cargo compartment. It's a fair bet this thing is outfitted with an anti-tampering system of some kind. Enter password. Wednesday. The plastic lid of the cargo container pops open with a click. Inside, you find what appears to be a homemade SimSense chip. It sits securely in a custom-made plastic bracket. Take the chip. You pop the chip out of the bracket and pocket it. A few seconds later, an angry hissing sound comes from somewhere deep within the drone. Step back. As you step away from the drone, the hissing sound grows into a roar. Bright white sparks spit out from the drone's melting chassis and streak across the room. You've seen this kind of reaction before. Thermite. Whoever built the drone must have wired it with a self-destruct device. Within seconds, all that's left of the little drone is a molten wreck of the charging cradle. Foul-smelling smoke pours from the remains. You steal another glance at the chip you recovered and turn away. Found something. There are a pair of courier drones in the other room. No markings, they look custom built. One of them had been slagged, but the other had this chip in its storage compartment. When you produce the chip, the engineer's eyes widen slightly. He turns his head and coughs rack his body. Interesting. This means something to you, Yuli? Eiger takes the chip from you and holds it into the light. No identifying markings. I've seen enough BTLs in my time to know one when I see it, but this is different. It's been modified somehow. Go ahead and slot it, bitch. It'll take you on the ride of your life. Eiger raises an eyebrow. Smack him for me. Will you? I'm busy. What's a BTL? You don't get out much, do you? A BTL is a kind of SimSense chip. It stands for better than life. They're cheap, easy to find, and incredibly addictive. People have died of dehydration while riding BTL highs. It's pretty common on the streets. They just stay plugged in until their bodies give out. Not a pretty way to go, believe me. And speaking of which, look at Yuli's temples. See that sweat building up? I'd say our friend here has developed himself a habit. You don't know what you're holding, slag. He spits the words out like bent venom. His eyes are locked onto the chip in Eiger's hand. Slowly, he licks his lips. You don't deserve to touch that chip. I think you're right, Eiger. Our friend here's an addict. The engineer glances at you with a snarl. Fuck you. The thing is, I know our friend's rap. I'm telling you, he's much too careful to get himself addicted to stims. He glances at the engineer. His eyes are locked on the chip. If these things have hooked him this badly, they must be even more addictive than standard BTLs. That's a frightening thought. You're telling me the last thing we need is more sim junkies on our streets. She turns to face the engineer. You got anything to add to that, Yulia? You have no idea how wrong you are about all of this. He struggles to rise from the floor, but his muscles refuse to cooperate. Finally, he gives up with a scowl. If I could move my arms, I'd take that chip from you and show you what it does. I'm sure that you would. She glances over her shoulder, Nephrite. She glances over her shoulder at you. Good find, Nephrite. We struck a nerve. Any other thoughts? Yeah, actually. I think I know where that other chimp went. Remember that body I found in the other room? Yeah, good thought. Go check it out, but be quick. I don't know how long it'll be before we have company here. I'm on it. Search for the missing chip. Peeling back a... Ugh, gross. Peeling back a patch of matted hair, you find something that a casual viewer would have missed. The man had a chip jack. It's a cheap model, sufficient for loading SimSense chips and BTLs, but little else. It doesn't take much effort for you to pry it open. Inside the chip jack, you find a glob of plastic. It looks like whatever this guy was running melted down sometime after he slotted it. A chip jack like this couldn't generate enough heat to destroy a SimSense chip. The only logical conclusion is that the chip itself was wired to melt down after use. Take the burned out chip and leave. Oh, that's even worse. Ugh, yuck. The engineer's eyes remain locked on the chip. His face has gone pallid white and his shirt is drenched with sweat. His eyes bulge and his breathing is heavy. Eiger glances up from your manic captive and looks you in the eye. Found what you were looking for? Yeah. I pried his chip jack open and found a blob of melted plastic inside. It was still warm to the touch. Eiger examines the remnants of the chip in your fingers. I've heard of these before. Single-use stims designed to self-destruct after they're slotted keeps the customers from using the same BTL over and over again. I'd say you found our missing chip. Yeah, I agree, but the guy who slotted this wasn't blissed out like the normal sim junkies. It was almost the opposite. He looked wild, like a madman. Madman. The engineer lets out a chuckle. It's a hoarse, barking sound. You don't know a damn thing. Why don't you educate us? The chip doesn't drive you insane. It opens your eyes. His voice grows in volume, becomes ragged. Slot one, and you become a god. I am a biotic god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Eiger stares at him, her expression flat. The engineer sneers. I too was a skeptic. Then the wolf caught me, and the raven opened my eyes, and now at last I can see. Suddenly he lurches forward. Every muscle in his body goes tight, and the cords stand out on his neck. Give me the chip. It was promised to me. I need it. Tell us who you're working for, and it's all yours. The engineer spits out a mouthful of blood, hits the tile floor with a sickening splat. He grinds his teeth, then snarls out a single word. Winter night. There's a moment of silence. Finally, Eiger speaks. Never heard of them. Of course you haven't, bitch. If you had, you'd already be dead. They don't leave loose ends. His body begins to tremble. It looks like the drugs are wearing off. They have money, sheep troll. Money and influence enough to put the syndicates to shame. Even I cannot say how much, but I do know what I've seen is just the tip of the spear. Alright, let's say you're telling the truth and some sort of secret society is behind this. What do they want with Shadowrun? They don't tell me these things. All I know is that they want to store things here. Crates, boxes, shipped in from all over. No cargo inspections and no traces back to them. What are they shipping in? Weapons? Drugs? More of these BTLs? He eyes her incredulously. You think that I asked them? It's not my place to know. All that I know is what was promised to me. Give me the chip! His voice comes out in a shivering screech. You promised! She promised you the chip. Eiger smiles at the engineer. Slowly, she pulls a knife from her belt. Its serrated edge glints in the light. I, on the other hand, didn't offer you a goddamn thing. Maybe we should just let him slot the thing. She looks at the chip in her fingers, then down at the engineer's trembling body. Slowly, a smile spreads across her face. Not unless he sweetens the deal. You hear that, Yuli? I'll give you what you want, but you need to make it worth my while. He licks his lips and nods feverishly. I have a stash here in this warehouse. A custom rifle. It's all yours if you give me what is mine. Eiger looks back over to you and raises an eyebrow. I could use a new rifle. What do you think, fearless leader? Deal. Once we know where the stash is, give him the chip. The engineer nods feverishly. Over there in the corner. There's a duffel bag under the floor plate. Now give it to me. Alright, Yuli. It's all yours. Eiger leans in and grabs the engineer's head with her left hand, then pries his chip jack open with her right. She slaps the chip into the jack, then clicks it shut. Seconds pass. Nothing happens. What have you done? Why don't I feel anything? Oops. Sorry, Yuli. Guess that Cyberware deactivator shut down your chip jack too. Somewhere in the back of that addled skull, I'm sure you probably knew that. But then, hope springs eternal, doesn't it? I said we'd give you the chip. Never promised it would work. I'm going to kill you! You hear me? I'll rip out your spine! Should I kill him? Never promised I'd let you live either. Eiger? The blade of her knife glints in the light. You don't have to ask me twice. Suddenly, the engineer's entire body bucks forward. His eyes bulge out of his skull and he beats the back of his head against the floor. He opens his mouth to speak, but the only sound that comes out is a gurgling scream. Eiger takes a step back. Her knife lowers slightly. Something's wrong. Look at his hands. The orc's mil-spec cyber arms are twitching. His fingers seem to move of their own accord, writhing aimlessly in the air. The light on his chipjack begins to blink. How long was that cyberware deactivator supposed to last? She reaches for a shotgun. Longer than this. I'm going to kill Bannock when... The engineer's body surges forward, a violent convulsive motion. His eyes bulge out of his skull. Then his chest evaporates in a spray of light. Whoa! Step back, Nephrite. Way back. As you watch... Oh my fucking god! The chemical fire that rages from the engineer's body blackens his flesh and spits sparks across the room. It takes him... It's the same reaction you saw when the drone went up. A thermite reaction. It takes him a full minute to stop twitching. His employers, Winter Knight, must have implanted that thing in him. Yeah, and judging by the way he reacted, he didn't know what they'd done it. He didn't know they'd done it. They must have thrown it in while he was getting the other work done. I'm willing to bet if we hadn't used the cyberware deactivator on him, he'd gone up before he had the chance to spill any names. Well, if you were looking for proof of who his employer was, I think that was it. She nods, then casts a final glance at the charred remains of the engineer. Yeah, we know who to warn the Flux State about. Let's grab the rifle and go. We're done here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. I just walked right past it. You reach into the vent and retrieve a navy blue duffel bag, just as the engineer said you would. The distinctive shape of a rifle barrel can be seen through the canvas. Here you go, Eiger. All yours. She takes the bag and unzips it. Her eyes go wide. He said that thing was custom? He wasn't kidding. Gingerly, she reaches into the bag and pulls out a sleek angular shape. This is a Steer AUG CSL multi-weapon system. A very nice and very expensive piece of hardware. Yuli put a lot of aftermarket work into his. I don't even recognize some of the accessories he bolted onto this thing. Interesting. She shoulders the rifle and peers through its skull. A grin grows on her face. It looks like these aftermarket mods have more or less locked it into an assault rifle configuration. But that's alright. I've been looking for a worthy mid-range weapon, and this'll do nicely. She slings the rifle and clasps you on the shoulder. Come on, fearless leader. Let's go back home. Lead the... Ooh. Hang on, Eiger. I'm not comfortable leaving Winter Knight to the Flux State. I think we should handle them ourselves. What you're suggesting is far beyond the scope of our capabilities. I don't have any contacts in Norway, we wouldn't even know where to begin looking for Winter Knight, and if we found them, what then? The two of us aren't going to stop an international conspiracy on our own. We're good, but we're not that good. Okay, we'll let the Flux State handle it. Good call, let's go. Yeah, let's get out before they show up. It must feel so awful to have, like, parts of your body deactivated against your will. Like, that just sounds terrifying. The U-Bahn whisks you back towards the cruise bazaar. Eiger standing by your side. The image of the engineer's body disintegrating in flame replays itself over and over in your mind. The bright flash, the shower of sparks, the overpowering stench of sizzling meat. A blue-green afterimage hangs suspended in the center of your field of vision, and it refuses to be blinked away. From what Eiger told you, the engineer was a menace, an international criminal at the top of his game. As you watched, he was consumed from within by a device that marked him as disposable. The rattle of your U-Bahn car coming to a halt shakes you from your reverie. You're home. Gonna talk to Glory again. Back when we took on Humanus, you said you fought in the Night of Rage. Can you tell me more about that? He nods, then fishes in his jacket pocket for his flask. Alright, boss, we can talk about it. So I already mentioned that Berlin's punks and anarchists joined forces right off to fight off the racists, right? And after a long bloody fight, we beat them. What I didn't mention is how I figured into all of it. I'm an anarchist at heart, always have been, but at the time I fit squarely into the punk camp. I was 32 at the time, Messer Kampf was still touring. Not as much as we did when we were kids, but we had a following. I guess I was sort of an elder statesman for the scene. When we rallied to fight the racists, my followers came along for the ride. Bunch of young kids all full of piss and vinegar and the immortality of youth. I was full of that good old Dragon Slayer spirit, pissed off and itching for a fight. So I led those kids into the fray. They waded into the riot right alongside me, yelling and screaming with their fists in the air. I don't remember a whole lot of the fight itself, boss, but I do remember the aftermath. A lot of the kids that followed me had grown up listening to my music. They had all my attitude, Nephrite, but none of them had my magic. And youthful enthusiasm is no defense against a knife or a handgun. I left the punk scene for all the reasons I told you, boss, but there was a bigger reason, and I saw it in those kids' broken bodies. This road that I'm on, it leads to the grave. I've got the power to make it a leisurely trip, but make no mistake, that's where I'm headed. Those kids tried to follow in my footsteps, and they wound up sprinting ahead of me instead. Better for me to stay out of the public eye and stick to the shadows. My stint as a role model was ill-advised. Have you put any thought into what I said earlier? Yeah, boss, I had. It's an interesting idea, but there are risks. I'm thinking that this might not be the best of times to approach him about it. He's the source of my magic, remember? If our discussion turned into an argument, he could take all that magic back in a heartbeat, and where would we be? I can't justify the risk of you losing your magic. Not right now. Let's hold off on this until after we've gotten ourselves out of the mess we're already in. He nods grimly. Yeah, boss, my thoughts exactly. Let's just worry about the task in front of us for now. You don't need to concern yourself about me anyhow. I'll be fine. Hello, Eiger. Eiger welcomes you with a nod. Nephrite, what can I do for you? We should talk about what happened with the engineer. She nods. Agreed. I'm ready to go over it if you are. So the engineer was working for a secret society. I wasn't expecting that. Neither was I. She frowns. A part of me is still having trouble believing it. But it's true. Yuli wasn't lying. I could see it in my eyes. When I left that room to search for clues, the engineer told you something. Something that pushed you over the edge. Her eyes narrow. That son of a bitch said a lot of things. What of it? What do you think? I want to know what he told you. With all due respect, Nephrite, that's none of your business. Isn't it? You beat the tar out of that man because of what he told you. As your team leader, you need to know why that happened. It takes her a long time to respond. When she does, her voice carries a tone of resignation. You really want to know? Alright, fine. I'll tell you. He told me about a bunch of Polish towns that my unit swept for syndicate activity. He told me how the mob poured back in right after we left and what they did to the people who'd accepted our help. He told me about the beatings, the rapes, the killing rooms, the torture, and worse. He relished in describing it, the relentless, hideous barbarism of it all. And it all meant to teach some sort of lesson. I think that's the cruelest part of this entire story. Those people, they didn't need a lesson in how terrible life can be. They live with that every day. Yuli seemed to find all of this hilarious. Yeah, I know that he was pushing my buttons on purpose. And yeah, I know he was trying to make me lose control. But the hell with it, he deserved a good beating. Yuli didn't pull any punches, so I didn't pull any punches. And if you have a problem with that, you can go and get fucked. Hold on, Eiger. We're both on the same side here. I know, I'm sorry. I guess I'm still a little on edge about this, which is exactly what Yuli wanted, of course. She grits her teeth. I just can't help thinking, what if he wasn't playing me? What if those things did happen? If I leave things where they stand, there'll always be some hope that he was lying. But if I dig into this and find out he was telling the truth, if I find out that none of what we did meant anything, even if he was telling the truth, that doesn't invalidate what your unit was doing over there. Doesn't it? Our actions might have drawn attention to those people, made them targets. No. They were already targets. You need to quit beating yourself up over this, Eiger. It isn't like you. She gives you a brusque nod. You're right, it isn't. No more moping about, I promise. And I will look into this Nephrite. Wherever this trail leads me, I'll follow it, and I won't stop until I find the truth. I'm willing to help you see this through if you want the help. She shakes her head. Thanks, but no. Not now, at least. At some point, after we're done with what we're doing, I'll look into this. I'll get to the truth, whatever it might be, but I'm not going to do it today. Okay. When you're ready to start looking, you can call on me for help. I've got your back, Eiger. She nods. I know it, and I'm glad. Now let's change tack. Is there anything else from the run you'd like to go over? She folds her arms across her chest. If you have any thoughts, I want to hear them. Have you been able to do any digging on Winter Night? No, there just isn't much reliable information out there. Whoever these guys are, they're very good at information control. None of my contacts could find anything but rumor and conjecture, and most of that is too crazy to even consider. How crazy are we talking here? Completely insane. Stories about magical nukes and the end of the world. Fenris shamans, Ragnarok, that kind of thing. She shakes her head. Like I said, nuts. Ugh. Maybe they're running a disinformation campaign, planting strange rumors to create plausible deniability? That's what I was thinking, yeah. Corporations and governments do it all the time. Why not these guys? Anyway, we stopped him cold and chatted and asked. Whatever their business is, whatever it was going to be in those crates that the engineer was having shipped there, it isn't our problem anymore. The Cruise Bazaar is safe. On that front, at least. Yeah, it is, and we've got you to thank for that. And you. Don't downplay what you did back there. Anyway, we shouldn't let it go to our heads. We still have a dragon to worry about. Have you gotten a chance to play with that rifle we got from the engineer's stash? Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of engineering. Shoots straight, has good stopping power, holds a big magazine. She nods appreciatively. A really nice gun. You mentioned a bunch of aftermarket mods when we found it. Have you figured out what they do yet? Just one. It can tag a chambered round with an RF transmitter. After the round hits the target, the transmitter pings on a designated channel, broadcasting the target's exact location to anyone listening in. In layman's terms, you can use this thing to mark a target. There's cyberware that does the same thing, and deckers do it all the time. But this is the first time I've seen this functionality on a rifle. Not bad at all. Agreed. I've been reluctant to cart an AR along with me until now. In my opinion, the added mid-range stopping power didn't justify the trouble of carrying another big bulky weapon into the field. Being a walking arsenal is fine and good, but it's also noisy and cumbersome, and those are two things that every sniper tries to avoid. She pats the engineer's rifle. This thing, though, it adds enough utility that I think it's worth the extra weight. I'll find a way to make it work. That's all, Eiger. Thanks for the talk. Thank you, fearless leader, both for the chat and the assist on the run. Anything else you wanted to talk about? Nothing right now. Okay, I need to be better at guns. I need to get up to 6. And I need to buy more medicine because I used it all up. Shit. Okay. I gotta buy a bunch of shit. I'd like these and these. I'm spending all my money. Literally all my money. I need this shit. That last run was scary. Alright, let's see if this mission's quick. Let's find Escabil's lab. Glory, Dietrich, and Eiger. Eiger's leather jacket. Yeah, real leather. Cost me a fortune. Glory's armored vest. Who needs sleeves when you've got cyber arms? And Dietrich's digs. Just what I wear when I'm not on tour. That's cute. Oh, Dietrich has shurikens now. Cool. Let's go. Lockdown. The ride to the Adenir Platz is a dismal one. Your only company on the train is an elderly dwarf in a ragged peacoat, and he spends the most of his time muttering to himself. When the train rattles to a stop, he slowly rises from his perch and begins to hobble toward the doorway. The station itself isn't much different, an old, broken-down thing at the end of its useful life, feebly tottering towards obsolescence, as the area of Berlin has clearly seen better days. A window of light shines down from the surface, and even that looks stale. Slowly, you begin to climb. What's even gonna attack me here? Dietrich has a trauma kit. That's good. I'm gonna give him a med kit. Give him an extra wind totem, even though it's very good. I'll just use it. Eiger, you need a trauma kit. I need more med kits. The streets above the Adenauerplatz are dark and dismal. This Kiez has seen better days. Everything here reeks of economic depression and faded glory. Looming above you is a fortress-like, seemingly impregnable facility. The windows have been shuttered with enormous steel panels, lending the entire building a sinister appearance. That's our target. Shadowrun Bioscience. Wonder what happened in there. It might still be happening for all we know. There's a cheerful thought. Come on, boss. Let's get this over with. Ugh. Man, it looks like shit here. How much area can I look around? Oh man. That's kind of cool. Oh my god, this car has bushes growing out of it. That's so funny. Does look like they're part of a gang that... Probably... Oh! I can hack stuff from here. Sick. Okay. Take that. Blaster, erosion, killer, medic. I'm going in. Eh? Kill? Hell yeah. Oh, these things have a lot of health. Okay. Good to know that they have a lot of health. How much damage should I do? Doesn't look like I can get over there from... Oh, there's someone here. There's someone here already. Oh, no, it's me. Oh! Oh, this is the other side of the wall. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go here. And AoE. And shoot. Nice. Less nice. Okay. I like when things miss. How much damage does my just normal attack do? Nice. Oh! Okay, having ESPs is great. Shoot you? Oh. Do some fun damage. Oh, you have a lot of HP. Let's get in between it and me. Okay, that's 200 damage. And there it goes. Okay, door's open. Ugh. We're in. Two doors, huh? I pick left? Is left correct? Oh man, it's so empty in here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why did I do that before looking at it? This terminal governs the animal testing wing of Shadowrun Bioscience. Data entries concerning animal test subjects and the procedures performed upon them. Fill the menu screen. Shadowrun Bioscience Animal Testing Observation Terminal. Hellhound testing, basilisk testing. Hellhound testing protocols. This entry contains notes on a variety of invasive test procedures that were performed on a kennel of hellhound test subjects. There are several memos appended to the file. Apparently, the scientists working in the animal testing wing were less convinced that working with dangerous fire-bringing animals would yield useful results than the executives were. Select Basilisk testing protocols. This entry covers the various forms of experimentation and testing performed on Shadowrun's prized possession, a rare albino basilisk acquired from an exotic animals dealer in Portugal. This sucks. It appears the basilisk was being used as a primary focus of a passion project at Shadowrun, an attempt to create a magically active piece of Bioware. Why the executives in charge of the project felt the basilisk would make an appropriate test subject is not clarified. The list of procedures performed on the creature is extensive, including a series of unanesthetized thoracic surgeries. So they cut it open without anesthesia. Great. These doors are locked. Oh, there's a keycard panel. The door is locked by a high-tech mag lock with a swipe key access system, but the status screen indicates that the lock has been overridden by a local computer on the network. Piggyback on the network override to unlock the door. Your hack successfully unlocks the door. Oh, hello. Unauthorized access detected. Priming weapons for systems for pacification. Great. Is this a assault rifle? It is, huh? Ooh! Oh, I like this new toy. Alright, let's go, Glory. She doesn't have the AP for that. Okay. Awkward. Well, that was annoying. I mean, maybe Glory shouldn't be attacking robots, but also it's kind of funny. Whoa. Hell yeah. Bless hell yeah. Can you stop firing grenades at me, please? I'm gonna keep smacking you until you explode. I'm asleep. Dietrich's annoyed. Oh my god, this gun is so good. Chop, chop, slice, slash. Yeah, let's see you be immune to this. Oh, Eiger! Oh, I love you. Gotta be careful with these doors. I don't know which one's gonna have a basilisk behind it. Oh, hi. A wild-eyed young man in a tattered lab coat confronts you. His beard is bushy and unkempt, but bare patches of skin show through. You there! Who are you? He stalks towards you, his hands twitching. You dare enter my domain! I'm Nephrite. Pleased to meet you. Well, Nephrite, I am not pleased to meet you. You stand as a trespasser in my sovereign territory, and you've murdered my citizens. You have invaded my home. Dietrich mutters under his breath. We got a live one here, boss. He continues his rant without pausing for breath. You're a murderer! A monster! You will pay! Hold up, who are you? I am Philip Rex, the Night King of Shadowrun Bioscience. I will have you banished for your transgression, she-elf. Banished to the underworld and left to the ravages of the all-powerful Billy. He pauses, blinking. Hold still while I fetch the robots that will banish you. Slow down, Night King. What are you talking about? I am the sovereign ruler of this building, now and forever. He puffs his chest out even further. By right of succession, the former laboratories of Shadowrun Bioscience belong to me. Succession? Who died? His eyes bulge. Everybody. Everyone but me. Once I shared authority with another, my dear friend Eiger. Our Doomvirate led this building into a golden age. Together, we liberated the animal testing labs and annexed them into our territory. Then Eiger got eaten by Billy, and the burden of leadership fell onto my shoulders. What have you been eating? I did my best to make life good for the peasantry. I scrubbed their plastic cases on a daily basis, and I crooned pleasing melodies to ease their troubled minds. But those days are over. My peasants are dead. You destroyed something beautiful. Alright, sire. I'm sorry about your peasants, but I'm on an important, quest. The grief on his face instantly vanishes. What replaces it looks like curiosity. Oh, well, that changes everything. Fucking hell. This guy. Perilous quests and civilian casualties go together like chocolate and peanut butter. I can't stay mad at you for that. Oh no, this guy has lost it. What has he been eating? He's not okay. Tell me about this quest of yours, good she-elf. Leave nothing to the imagination. He leans forward, smiling. You have my rapt attention. This was so much funnier in Sunset Overdrive. Oh my god. Oh, I want to play that game so bad. I want to stream that game so bad. I love Sunset Overdrive. I'm here to liberate some prototype Bioware, the stuff that Dr. Xavier Esquivel funded. Esquivel sent you. The treacherous Spaniard, he mumbles under his breath. You must be looking for the samples in cold storage. That means you're headed for the executive wing. Take this as a warning, stranger. If you intend to forge your way into that land of milk and honey, you do so at your own peril. The underworld stands between you and your goal, and the underworld is home to the murderous Billy. I think I've read about this Billy. He was Shadowrun's albino basilisk, right? Was is right. Now he is so much more. A creature of legend. Years of experimentation have remade the beast into the ultimate killing machine. He's smarter than 10 men and 5 times as deadly. Okay. If this Billy is standing in my way, I guess that I'll have to kill him. He snorts. A fool's errand. Eiger tried to kill Billy once. He thought that by eating the beast we could steal its power. Hubris. Billy devoured my friend for his insolence, and the last remaining copy of Keycard E was lost. He was a beautiful fool, that Eiger. I told him we didn't need to eat Billy, that we could survive indefinitely on synthesized cardiac tissue and choco nubs. Ew! 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 They were eating synthesized heart tissues! Oh my god, this poor guy. He's been eating hearts and chocolates for 2 years. Hearts and chocolate for 2 years. No wonder he's lost it. But he wouldn't listen and Keycard E was lost. And without it, I can no longer access the executive wing and an expansive snack bar. I've eaten nothing but bat-grown metahuman organs for a year and a half, stranger. Kill for a choco nub. I just think that I've heard all I need to about Billy. Just tell me how do I get into the executive wing. Very well, stranger. If you cannot be dissuaded, I will help you. The ragged lab tech fishes in his coat pocket with a bony hand, produces a thin slip of plastic. He presents it to you with a flourish. This is my most prized possession. The incomparable keycard B. Using this, you can descend to the underworld and face Billy. If you should survive the encounter, search for the long-missing keycard E. Use it to reopen the executive wing, and I will see to it that you are richly rewarded. Can I go in here? Ah, his kingdom. It looks like this media setup is wired into the building's security system. Video feeds from cameras all over the facility can be viewed here. Search the machine's video archive. Paging through the computer's file system, you find a number of archived videos feeds from the building's surveillance system. In addition, episodes 1 through 6 of an old Slovakian period fantasy series called Night Kings of Light and Hold have been saved to the machine's desktop. Oh my god. I've heard of that show. It's supposed to be horrible. I mean, really, really bad. Never watched it myself, but I hear that made Neil the Orc Barbarian look like high art. Watch the security archive dated 18 months ago. As the video feed kicks in, Philip is engaged with an animated discussion with someone who's standing just outside camera range. You can see his shoes and his shadow, but nothing more. The voice sounds human. You guess that the off-camera speaker is a man in his early 20s. Look, we've survived this long. If we play our cards right and do a proper bit of rationing, I reckon we can live off the executive snack bar for a long time to come. We'll have plenty of fat and sugar. Those won't be a problem. We've got mixed nuts for protein, and we can get our vitamins and minerals from diet bars. There aren't many of those, but like I said, we'll ration. I'd be willing to bet we can hold on for 2 or 3 months on what's stashed away in that snack bar. Or should it be rescued before we run dry? You're fooling yourself, man. Ignoring an unpleasant truth rather than facing it. We have to accept the fact that we could be stuck in here for the long haul. The snacks are great and all, but they can't be our stable food stuff. We need to stretch them out as far as humanly possible, and that means supplementing them with something more substantial. There's a long pause. You don't mean... Look, just think of it like farming, right? If we look after our crops, we'll always have food to eat. We have enough supplies on hand to keep the tissue cultures in the org chem wing growing indefinitely. What I'm talking about is growing meat for our own survival. That's all it is. Meta-human meat, Phil. Synthetic hearts and livers and kidneys grown to be implanted into people like you and me. You're talking about eating people parts. It's fucking disgusting and I won't do it. Unless you fancy dying of malnutrition, you're gonna have to. You know that as well as I do. Organ meats are rich in vitamins and minerals. Choline, CoQ10, vitamin D... Not cock. They're not rich in cock. Bioavailable iron, all things that we're gonna need if we want to survive in the life term. You won't find much vitamin D in licorice sticks and chocolate nubs. You're talking like they're never going to rescue us. We're in Berlin, Heiner. What they? Who do you think is coming? We need to be prepared to survive here for a long time. Maybe years. That means making the most of the resources at our disposal. You're talking about resorting to cannibalism, man. No, I'm talking about eating meat. The video feed flickers and winks out. 14 months ago? An image flickers onto frame. Philip leaning against a wall, listlessly chewing on an unidentified hump of cooked meat. He looks miserable. A drone comes to expect him, and he pushes it away. Heiner's voice crackles in over the intercom. Billy doesn't look up. Philip doesn't look up. Going now, Phil. No more arguments, okay? There's a long pause. In lieu of responding, Philip takes another bite of meat and gnashes at it with his teeth. I'll kill that fucking thing, you'll see. That goddamn basilisk is going down. Once we can get down into the sewers again, we might be able to find a way out. This is our chance, Philip. Wish me luck. Philip says nothing. The video continues to play for a time, then cuts to static. 11 months ago. The video feed flickers onto screen. In it, you find Philip standing in the corner of the room that you're in now. He looks haggard, exhausted, and he carries a haunted look in his eyes. Heiner is notably absent. Cheap, synthesized music pipes in from somewhere off-screen. Philip turns to stare in the direction that the music came from. A smooth, baritone voice sings out a phrase in Slovak. A half-second later, a different voice shouts a transition in German. Night Kings of Lighting Hold! Philip stares glassy-eyed as the show begins. The synthesized music blares. A deep, trollish voice rumbles out of the media center speakers. I, Titanus Rex, will defend my realm. I do swear before my magic sword. Argonar! This I do swear. An alarmingly breathy elvish voice sings out in response. But Titonius, the Jubathon hordes will smite you if you stay. The people in that valley are only peasants. You need to throw your life away with them. Flee with me into the enchanted wood of Tralashin. Oh, this is terrible. Please make this stop. My life is sworn to protect those peasants, she-elf. Run back to your enchanted trees if you will, but a Night King will never flee. But Titonius, you cannot die. I love you. Then go to your father and beseech him to rally his elf troops southward. For if Titonius Rex falls, Lightinghold will fail, and Lightinghold will not fall. The troll drones on, audibly struggling to emote and occasionally tripping over his lines. No! It even has terrible editing! Overall, the acting quality is roughly on par with what you'd expect from a primary school Christmas pageant. Philip stares at the screen, listlessly chewing his meat. His nose is wrinkled in distaste, and his fists clench and unclench. Mercifully, the feed cuts to static. Watch the archive dated 8 months ago. The screen flickers and a video of Philip pops onto the screen. He's standing in the corner, watching an episode of Night Kings of Lightenhold. His jaw hangs slack and he stares at the screen in rapt attention. But father, Titonius Rex is risking his life, nay, his very soul, to defend Lightenhold from the Jupathons. His enchanted sword Argonar feeds upon his honor and bravery, and seeks to transform him from noble Night King into an evil demon lord. God, this sucks. This music is bad. Philip's lips move silently, mouthing the words as they are spoken. Evidently, he has committed the entire script to memory. My darling daughter, that is why I cannot send my troops. I love how all of these guys are marked actor in quotation marks. Your beloved Titonius Rex walks the knife's edge between light and darkness every time he draws that double blade from its scabbard. It is a long time you learned the truth about me, Brenathe. I was the one who trapped the demon lord Karabark in that blade. The breathy actress lets out a sharp gasp. Philip mimes the motion and a tear begins to trace his way down his cheek. But father, you can't mean... Yes, my daughter. I was the one they called Thunderspear, the sworn enemy of Titonius Rex's people, the Honga barbarian tribe. Then, all of this is your fault. The Juvathons, the threat to my beloved soul, all of it. It was the only way to save Tralashin, my darling daughter. Tralashin and your mother, whom I hid away from you when you were but a girl. She's still alive, Brenathe. A security drone floats by to inspect Philip. Idly reaches out and begins to stroke its casing, petting it as if it were a house cat. The video feed flickers and sputters out, and you find yourself back at the main menu. What's dated today? Screen flickers, and Philip appears on screen. He appears to be dancing with one of the security drones. The little machine weaves and bobs frantically to avoid colliding with him, and with every motion, the lab tech slides in to fill the empty space. Across and around and around they go, twirling and writhing across the laboratory floor. There's an enormous smile on Philip's face. Then the lights go dim, and an alarm begins to sound. Danger, danger, intruder detected, security protocols engaged. I admire your bravery, noble vassal. Philip rests a hand on top of the little drone. But this is my fight. I, Philip Rex, will defend this land with my life, indeed with my very soul. Sir, please clear the area. Hostiles inbound. No, noble spirit, it is you who must. I repeat, clear the area. Hostiles inbound. He nods slowly, his face beaming with pride. Maybe you're right. I am already a Night King. Perhaps this is your time to shine. I will not rob you of this moment of glory. I will allow you your moment in the sun, and when you return victorious, I will grant you lands and titles to reward your heroism. Please clear the area. Philip turns and steps out of the camera range. The drone is joined by two others, which wait in a holding position facing the camera. The picture breaks into static and the video feed cuts off. Great. Fucking great. Oh, this is where he's been synthesizing his meat. Can't say I don't feel a little bad for this guy. But, you know. Okay. Okay, that's how I go fight Billy. Oh, I can go this way. This is the executive clearance panel. The door is hermetically sealed. Months of disuse have left it covered in a thick coat of dust. A single swipe key access system has been mounted into the door frame. Block letters on the system's case read executive clearance only. And then over here, clearance B panel. This console seems to control the locking mechanism for the door in front of you. A keycard reader has been set into the front bezel of the console. Text on the screen reads keycard access clearance level B. Swipe. The keys the panel LED indicator blips to a more pleasant view, and the door unlocks with a thunk. Oh, there's a medkit station. Yes, please. I will pop that out. Okay, so there's a bunch of ways down. I'm gonna go this way? Locked safe. The safe is locked with a similar key swipe lock to the door panel. Swipe your clearance B keycard. The safe chirps and the door swings open. What's inside? Schematic auto-injector bliss. Drugs? I don't really care about drugs, honestly, game. What's down this one? Clearance B panel. The door is maglock shut, and it appears that someone in the not-too-distant past has smeared its surface with feces. Fucking great. The door's key swipe access system has clearance B access only printed on its case. Swipe the keycard? The key panel's LED indicator blips from red to green, and the lock thunks open. I'm assuming that this just brings me back to where he was. Yes, okay. Man, is this guy ever gonna be able to come back to society? Okay, that's where I went in. Cool, got it. Oh, there's something over here. A dead body, perhaps? 43 yen. Cool. Alright, let's go, gang. We got a dragon to fight. I mean, basilisk. We do actually have a dragon to fight. Huh. Just not at the moment. Hey, buddy! Oh, you've got hellhounds with you. No wonder they call it hell. Alright. Flurry? Time to go. Why do you have armor? Yuck. Nice, good damage. Good night. I guess not. Okay. Did that hit Eiger? Oh, it hit me. Alright, let's hit them both. Good night, Billy. get rid of armor. Ow. Rude. I mean, this isn't really bad with 4 people. Oh, oh, the big damage from Eiger. I love it. Aw, another dog is here. Hooray! Sorry, buddy. But, good night. Alright, we did it. Got the executive keycard. I'm sure it's disgusting. Nothing in here. I don't know why there would be. It's not like dogs can, like, squirrel stuff away. I mean, they can, but not, like, hide it. Alright, Night King, I've vanquished the Billy. He lurches towards you with a start. You're back! Is Billy dead? Have you retrieved the long-lost keycard? Yeah, I've got it, but there's something I want to talk with you about first. Very well, ask your questions, but hurry. I want those snacks! You're really into that Night King's a lightning hold show, aren't you? Staring at you, he slowly nods. It is my life. My entire life. My reason for being. You know, you haven't seen that conclusion, right? There were only 6 episodes saved in that Media Center's memory. The show ran for 7. He reels as though he's been struck. You're saying there's more? That's what the program information said. 1 series, 7 episodes. You've seen 6. I've always thought that they left the ending to their imagination like a beautiful dream. He fidgets uncomfortably. But now the dream is over. I will never know peace until I've seen this conclusion for myself. I mean... you could always leave the building with me when I'm through here. In the outside world, you'll have no trouble finding the last episode. No, stranger. I cannot leave this place. I am its sworn protector, and I will not shirk my responsibilities. I will suffer as Titonius Rex suffered when he sent Brenneth Thay back to Tralasheen. This is my burden to bear. Don't give in to despair, Philip Rex, for this is your quest. To find the legendary missing episode. He's gonna get hit by a car. He blinks. Mine? But I cannot leave. I can't abandon my kingdom. Not even for my heart's greatest desire. Responsibility is what being a Night King is all about. Then perhaps you could appoint a vassal to undertake this quest for you. You have worthy peasants at your disposal, do you not? His brow furrows in concentration. Finally, he gives you a slow nod. I do, my friend. I do. After I have fortified myself with a helpful snacks, I will assemble a fellowship of stalwart peasants and elevate them to knighthood. In number, they will be 7. 7 Knight Thanes of Sutherland Bioscience, questing in service of their Night King. They will find the lost episode. This, I swear! It's just SpongeBob walking, dude. It's not really that good. He pulls himself up to his full height, puffing his chest outward. Somehow, this makes him look even less impressive. They will retrieve the glorious episode 7 and return it to its rightful place, and they will hew it in twain. The heathen dogs who seek to hoard its magnificence for themselves. You do that, Phil. Make it happen. Their quest will pass into legend. He nods vigorously, beaming. I will, my friend, I will. But first, I will indulge in sugary snacks. I want to know about the prototype Bioware. He shrugs. It's Bioware, pretty standard stuff. Pain editors, trauma dampeners, orthoskin, things like that. Hang on. The things you named are all commercially available. Hellishly expensive, but obtainable. It can't be what you're developing here. He chuckles. Shadowrun Bioscience wasn't developing anything. Well, nothing other than Billy, I guess. We developed him all too well. And what were you doing here? What's SpongeBob? We were copying. Making copies? No, wait a second. It will come to me. He screws up his face, struggling to dredge up the memory. We were, reverse engineering things, making knockoffs. Dangerous work, illegal most places, but not here in Berlin. Our investor needed it that way. Knockoff Bioware. Great. It was good stuff. High quality. You couldn't even tell one of our pieces from the real thing. Not even with a microscope. That was then, and this is now. The stuff in this lab, the organs we worked so hard to copy, is no different to me than anything else you've seen in this lab. That's all meat. He frowns in distaste. Potentially edible, sure, but otherwise useless. Okay. Not to me, it isn't. I need that stuff and I'm not leaving without it. Get me into the executive wing and we can both have whatever we want. Fill your pockets, take whatever you like. I, on the other hand, will avail myself of the snack bar. What happened here? What caused the lockdown? A calamitous series of events. It began with a spilled cup of soy cough and ended in terror and blood. He falls silent. There's a long, awkward pause. And? He blinks confusedly. Do you want more? Yes, that wasn't an explanation. He sighs. Then you shall have one. Where to begin? On the morning of the lockdown, all was well. Giesler, an executive, was making his rounds, walking from console to console to check up on us. He held a bubbling cup of soy cough in his stubby little hands. We all knew that food and drink were forbidden outside of the employee lounge, but Giesler was a proud man who would not obey the rules. His pride was our undoing. He tripped and fell. His soy cough spilled into a console in the animal testing wing. There was this terrible snap of shorting circuits, coupled with the stench of ozone. All over the building, emergency lights flashed and alarms blared. The building went into quarantine mode. He raises his voice and gestures theatrically. Doors locked and shutters slammed closed. We were all trapped like rats inside. But we were not afraid. We were sure that the malfunction would be fixed within the hour. We did not know what was coming for us. Unbeknownst to any of us, Giesler's devil beverage had done more than initiate a false quarantine. It had also shorted the locks on Billy's cage. The albino basilisk slipped its bonds, and in that moment its reign of terror began. His voice climbs to a roar. Within a half hour of the spill, Billy had slaughtered everyone who could have disengaged the lockdown. Executives were torn limb from limb. Their business attire was shredded, their expenditure reports bathed in blood, and the rest of us were trapped inside with the savage beast. He falls silent, blinking, as he watches his expression clouds. When he speaks again, his voice is small. In the end, only Heiner and I remained. We managed to trap Billy in the underworld, but there is no hope of escape for us. It's been 2 years. Someone must have come knocking before now. No, as far as the outside world was concerned, we were still under quarantine protocols. Nobody knew why, and nobody cared. The building had presumably been sealed for a reason, and the world at large wasn't in a hurry to crack it open again. Heiner and I found ourselves completely isolated from the outside world, with a terrible creature running loose in the basement. Our choices were to give up and die, or to make the best of it. Manic cheer that you've come to expect floods back into the lab tech. He spreads his arms wide, a knowing smile on his face. And, as you can plainly see, we chose the latter. We persevered and eventually transformed this husk of a building into the glorious kingdom you find yourself standing in today. It was all for the best in the end. I tamed this land and I've grown to love it. I will never live anywhere else. Tell me about your peasantry? I love them. They're like family to me. When I'm hungry, they're the ones who harvest the meat for me to cook from the cultured organ lab. When I'm in need of company, they keep me warm. That was already too much information for me, thanks. Let's change the subject. I want to know a little more about the underworld. He nods slowly. The nether realm that lies beneath the hollowed halls of Shadowrun Bioscience. A nightmarish labyrinth of dripping pipes and filthy brickwork. Billy rules supreme down there now. To set foot into the underworld means certain death. Just to get this straight, we're talking about a sewer, right? underworld is just a sewer. Yes, it's a sewer, but it is also a nightmarish labyrinth of... Yeah, I gotcha. Let's talk about something else. Here's your keycard. I gotta go. See you around. Yeah, later. It just talks normally. Okay, can I open the door without him? Swipe your executive clearance keycard. The keycard panel lights blip to a more pleasant hue and the door unlocks. The gates! They finally opened? There he goes. Is he not gonna have money? Thank you, my friend. You've granted me the secret desire that my heart yearned for most, a respectable supply of non-organ-based foods. You will always be welcome in these hallowed halls. I, Philip Rex, do so swear it. Yeah, later. Why is there blood? Oh no, they couldn't get into the bathrooms either. Got the samples. You gonna be okay here, dude? Don't call me a shield. Okay, I guess he's safe. I guess it's his house now? This terminal appears to contain an inventory control system for Shadowrun Biosciences merchandise. The items are spelled out in amber lettering against a solid black background. A glowing cursor awaits your input. Product and specimen inventory. Tissue Bank's Organ Farm. This entry provides a complete breakdown of the standard organs being grown in the organic chemistry wing of Shadowrun Bioscience. It seems the lab was outfitted with the capacity to mass-produce vat-grown metahuman organs, including hearts, kidneys, livers, and lungs. This material would then be used for testing purposes. Breakdown and analysis? This entry contains a complete log of studies performed by Shadowrun employees on the products of competing biotech companies. Bioware samples by Universal Omnitech, Shiawase, Proteus AG, and Biogene have all gone under the knife here, and the results of each dissection have been meticulously recorded. Replication/fabrication. This entry contains notes on Shadowrun's attempts to replicate products that had previously dissected and studied. According to the information here, Shadowrun had achieved a shocking level of success in producing generic versions of a wide variety of commercial and restricted Bioware products. These knockoff products were commissioned by an outside investor and have been moved into cold storage in the executive wing pending transport. Contract fulfillment. This entry contains a complete breakdown of the organs waiting in cold storage to be claimed by clients and investors. Scanning over the list, you see a number of high-end security-level enhancements in inventory. Bioware like this would normally run tens of thousands of yen. If this was what Escabel was commissioning Shadowrun to produce, he could undercut all his competitors and still make an ungodly profit. Special projects. This entry details a number of projects that involve invasive testing on awakened animals. There are listings for a number of hellhounds, including their complete medical histories. It appears that most of the experimental procedures listed were performed on a subject named Billy, but who or what Billy has been left undisclosed. Okay, let's leave. As you emerge, blinking into the light of day, you find yourself standing face to face with a veritable wall of security personnel. A man in an expensive suit raises a megaphone to shout at you. You! Stay right where you are! Megaphone isn't necessary, man. I'm standing right here. You will place the stolen Bioware samples you're carrying on the ground and lie on your belly with your hands in the air. Do it now or I will order my men to open fire. I didn't steal anything. The owner of this material commissioned me to retrieve it for him. Escabel, you mean? Yes, we know all about him. He has quite a reputation back in Spain. Where was Shiawase street scum, and that material infringes on 15 of our company's patents. The organs that you're carrying are based on our intellectual property. This is unbelievable. The place is locked down for 2 years and you chose today to come visit? You think it was a coincidence? We came when the quarantine was broken. We've had eyes on this place since the lockdown went into effect. You called us here when you opened the doors. Why wait? You could have broken into this place months ago. The building was quarantined, idiot. It's cheaper to set up a camera than it is to mount a hazmat cleanup effort. As long as that counterfeit merchandise was contained, we didn't care that it was in here, but it will not hit the streets. Now shut your mouth and hit the floor, or I'll order my men to open fire. Don't make me kill you, man. Have it your way. The security personnel raised their weapons into attack posture. Great, they get to shoot me first. Oh, fuck, it's Knight Aaron again. Ugh, screw these guys. Quarantine technician. Get rid of the magic people. Oh, hold on. Dietrich, you know the drill. Good night. And twist the claw. Aha! Oh my god, it immediately fucking just went loose. Holy shit. This is great. Alright, Glory. Go get him. Oh man. My aim sucks. I didn't mean to do that. Oh well. You better run. Oh man. Okay. Whoa! Whoopsie. Alright, Eiger, take him out. Oh, that damage is so spicy. Ow. Ooh, good damage. Twist the blade and shoot him. Nice. Oh, buddy. You do not know what you're in for. I have a nice new toy. Nice shot. Who wants the honors? Dietrich, it's been a bit. Now Glory can do it. As the smoke begins to clear, a cry of jubilation sounds out over the Shadowrun Bioscience building's intercom system. An incredible victory, my friend! You've cleared a path through the Jubathon hordes and for the Fellowship of Shadowrun Bioscience to begin their quest. Yeah, good luck with that, Fel. I will not need luck. My Night Thanes will prevail, for Providence is on our side. Yeah, I'm sure that it is. Don't engage with him. Just let him hang on to his little fantasy. We need to get out of here before these Bioware samples thaw. The intercom crackles to life again. Farewell, stalwart she-elf. We will remember you always. Man, first we get Biotic God, and then we get Cyber... now we're getting Bioware. This is just Mass Effect. This is just more Mass Effect. You hear the rustling sound of Phil pushing himself away from the intercom. A few seconds later, the building's external speakers fall silent. Ugh, let's fucking get the hell out. I have a doctor to talk to. The U-Bahn trip back from the Adenauer Platz is a shaky one. Surprisingly, the train is packed. The only empty seats are the very back of the car. A haggard-looking young mother marches down the aisle, dragging her 3 screaming children behind her. 2 boys and a girl, each around 6 years old. As the woman nears you, her eyes fix on the frozen pouches of bioengineered meat that you liberated from Sutherland's executive freezer. She opens her mouth to say something, but at that moment, the little girl jams a finger into her brother's nose. The boy howls, and the young mother's shoulders slump. Slowly, robotically, she turns back toward her destination and begins to trundle forward, dragging her squalling offspring forward with the solemnity of a funeral procession. Eventually, the train hums to a stop. You depart gratefully, lugging a freezer's worth of Bioware samples behind you. Optional. Return it to Escabel. Oh my god. I got your shit. You're gonna love what I had to go through for it. Ah, you're back. Do you have my merchandise? I do, in fact. It's right here. He greedily snatches the samples from your hands. So you do? Yes. Yes, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. Good work, Nephrite. The doctor turns away, rifling through the samples and inspecting their labels. It looks like a kid in a candy store. I will transfer 2,000 yen into your account for the job, and if you'll give me a moment, I will add the samples you've recovered to my inventory. He looks over the samples you've brought him and eagerly begins punching their serial numbers into his PDA. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And now, if you excuse me, his sentence trails off as he returns his attention to his merchandise. Hang on. There are a few more details we need to discuss. Fine, but let's make it quick, alright? I want to get this merchandise logged away into inventory because before it starts to thaw. Don't you want to know what caused the lockdown? A flicker of irritation passes over his face. He reluctantly turns back to face you. Yes, I suppose I do. Go ahead, tell me. I'm all ears. It was a stupid accident. Someone spilled soy calf on the control console and a bunch of test animals killed the researchers. That's... He grimaces. That is frustrating. But I suppose that's all water under the bridge. I have my merchandise after all. The Shiawase Corporation had their eyes on that building. I had to fight one of their retrieval teams. Oh, I can't say that I'm surprised. They were instrumental in engineering my downfall back in Spain. The bastards brought all manner of drummed-up charges against me. The tabloid press had a field day. I wouldn't worry about Shiawase. They may have their files on me, but they won't take any direct action against the Cruise Bazaar. I have information on several of their executives that would be quite embarrassing if it ever came to light. One of the researchers survived. He's gone insane in there over the past couple of years. He refuses to leave. Thinks that he's something called a Night King. How tragic. As far as I'm concerned, he can stay there as long as he likes. The lease is paid through 2061, and I don't need the building for anything. That's uncharacteristically generous of you, Doctor. The money is already spent, Nephrite. I can't get a refund, and the cleanup costs on getting the building up and running would ruin me. So it's going to sit idle one way or another. Anyway, I already have what I need from the facility. If your little friend wants to play out his fantasies in there, he's more than welcome to. I wash my hands of it. That's all I needed. I'll let you get back to your inventory. I would like to look at that inventory. Found the schematic. Can you make and install it? Interesting. These types of implanted injectors have become popular with some of the local gangs. Yes, I can install it. Though I will need payment for the materials. I'm gonna look at your cyberware. Okay. So this is body, which I have already. I have +1 movement, a reflex trigger, muscle augmentation, +1 quickness, +1 strength, plastic bone lacing. No, I don't really want that. Got the pheromones. Platelet factory. Lessening trauma from recent wounds. Auto-injector, cerebral booster, enhanced articulation. Pain editor. I think I want the induction data jack. Let's get different data jack. How do I remove this? Or do I just get something else that goes in the head slot? Oh, okay. Cool. Hydraulic jack. It doesn't look like there's anything like super interesting just yet. I'm good. I'm gonna stop now. I just wanted to see what he got. But it looks like he might get better stuff later. Oh, is my arm all cool now? Oh, it is! I have a robot arm. Oh yeah. Sick.